This is a video for bellwork for Tuesday, October 24th. On the first one, number one, we have another system of equations we need to solve, and they want us to solve it by substitution. So what I'm looking at is I see s is equal to t plus 4. And then in my second equation, I have 2t plus s is equal to 19. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the s in the second equation, and I'm going to substitute it for what it's worth, and it is worth t plus 4. So I'm going to take out the s, I'm going to put in t plus 4. So I'm going to get 2t plus another t plus 4 is equal to 19. Then I just solve for t in that equation. I'll get 2t plus 1t makes 3t. And 3t plus 4 is equal to 19. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we'll get 3t is equal to, if it's 15, it's going to be easy. So 3t is equal to 15, and it is. So we divide by 3, and we'll get t is 5. Okay, so that's one answer. For the s value, I'm going to take the 5, and I'm going to substitute it for t in the first equation. So I'm going to get s is equal to 5 plus 4, so s is 9. On number 2, we have scientific notation again. They want us to translate 4.443 times 10 to the negative 2 power into a decimal number. And this time the exponent is a negative. That tells me that I need to move it to the left 2 place values. So right now it is after the first 4. I'm going to move it 1. That'll put it before the first 4. So I need to add a 0. And then I'll move it 2. And I'm going to get 0.04443. Number 3 is asking us to find the product of x plus 8 times x minus 8. This is kind of a neat one because watch what happens when I do this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute the x and the 8. So let's start with the x. So we'll do x times x, we'll get x squared. I mean, x times negative 8, I'll get negative 8x. And then for the next one, we'll do 8 times x, and it's positive 8x. And then 8 times negative 8, which is negative 64. And if you look at this middle one, this is what's interesting about this problem. We have a negative 8x plus 8x. So those are going to cancel each other, and we're left with what's called the difference of squares. We have x squared minus 64. And 64 is a perfect square. It's 8 times 8. Number 4 is asking us to solve y plus 3 to the second power is equal to 0. So y plus 3 to the second power is the same as this. It's y plus 3 times y plus 3, and that's going to equal 0. Now remember, when we do these, either the first term or the second term has to be 0 when you're multiplying, or they could both be 0. So what we do is we just make two equations and make them equal to 0 and then solve. For this one, I only have to do 1 because they're both the same. So we're going to do y plus 3 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I'll get y is equal to negative 3. And we don't have to write it twice because it's just one answer on that one. Number 5 is a little bit more difficult than the one we did yesterday. For this one, it's asking us 18 is what percent of 60? So when we do this one, we're going to have to be real careful when we set it up. So what it's saying is if we do 60 times some number, and that number is a percent, it's going to equal 18. So what do we multiply 60 by to get 18? Alright, so I'll just put in an x there for a variable. So we can do 60 times x is equal to 18, and then just solve for x. So since we're multiplying, we'll divide both sides by 60. We'll get x is equal to 18 over 60. And 18 divided by 60 is equal to 0.3. And then to change that into a percent, I need to move the decimal 2 place values to the right. So we're going to move it like that, and we'll get 30%. So 18 is 30% of 60.